Hi! Did you ever wonder what would happen if you left your racket in your car on a hot day? In this video, we'll find out what really happens if you let your racket sit there for a day. All right, let's check it out. So what I did for this experiment is I strung two rackets, and these two rackets are spec'd the same. It's Prince Phantom 100G. Actually, it's my rackets. And the strings are Solenko, Hyper G, and 16 gauge. So what I did is I took an initial reading, and you can see that it read with my ERT 700, both at 48, so that was good. And then what I did is I put the one racket that has a white label in the car, and I let it sit there for an hour. And when I took it out, the temperature was about 140 degrees. So I took another reading after 1 hour, and you could see that this one read at 44. It dropped 4 pounds. And the one that I left in my shop, which was air conditioned, stayed at 48. Now, before the play test on day one, I took another reading, and you can see that the white one stayed at 44, and the one that stayed in the shop dropped a couple more pounds at 46. But you could see that the differential between these two rackets are still 2 pounds. All right, so we're out here in the court after I did the test on these two rackets. Now I got a couple players here that are gonna actually do that play test, so I'll let them introduce themselves.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Koby. I play at Pacific University, and I'm a 5th year.
Hi everyone, I'm Rayden. I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii, and I'm the head coach at Pacific University in Oregon.
All right, so we got some players to do these play tests, and we'll see what they say after they're done. All right, so what I did is I asked Koby and Coach Rayden to play 4 games. They're gonna serve and return with one racket, and when they switch sides, they're gonna do the same with the other racket. In the end, we'll see if they can tell any kind of difference. Now remember, there was only a 2-pound differential between the two rackets, so it'll be interesting to see if they can actually feel the difference. All right, so I got Koby here, and I wanted to get his input on these two rackets, and all I did was tell him the rackets were labeled. So one has a white label and one has a black label. So I'll go ahead and let Koby talk about the rackets and see what he felt.
All right, so I started playing with the white label racket, and that's the racket I warmed up with. And if I had to guess, the white racket is probably the one that was in the car, and that's the one that lost tension. Because I felt like when I switched rackets, the only really difference I could tell was that the sound the ball came off on, and yeah, I don't really know if there was a performance difference, but with the white racket, when I was playing with the white racket, I got broken, and then Rayden got broken with the black racket when we were playing against each other, and then when we switched rackets, we both held. So I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but yeah, the only difference I could tell was the sound.
All right, so when you talked about the sound, did the black or the white one sound louder, or what was the difference?
The white one sounded more springy, so that's why I thought it was a little looser and lost tension. And yeah, this one sounded like, I don't know, tighter, I guess.
Okay. All right, so we'll get Rayden over here. All right, so now that we heard from Koby, we're gonna have Coach Rayden talk about the rackets that he was trying.
So I think that I started with the black label. That's warm up and playing the matches first. I was on the closer side first. I think that we got kind of used to the racket that we were playing with throughout warm up. I think that the black racket was the one that was relaxing in the AC, and the white label was the one in the car. The only reason I say that is because the black label one felt more accurate to first or second day of me hitting with a new racket, versus the white label felt more like a week into hitting with my racket. We tried to make the tensions as close as possible to our normal tension. So that's my prediction, is the black one was the safe and sound one, and the white label was the one that was melting in the car.
All right, so I'll bring Koby back here and we'll reveal which racket was which. All right, so we got Koby and Coach Rayden back here, and they both felt the white one was the one that felt like it had a little bit less accuracy and it sounded different, I believe. Is that what you, yeah. And it is the white racket that was left in the car. So for whatever it's worth, I mean, they could tell the difference. I'm not sure if I could tell the difference, but these guys are good players. In fact, they're brothers. So who won that match anyway?
Yeah, we split today, so it was 2-2 at the end of it.
All right, and these two brothers happen to be my sons, so I don't know if I mentioned that. Thanks for watching.
Happy stringing.
And let your strings play. Well, I'm not quite done yet. What I decided to do is, after the guys hit with the rackets, I took another reading on the two rackets, and you can see on the white label racket that it did drop a couple more pounds down to 42. And so did the black label racket down to 44. So that was consistent. But it didn't end there. I left the white label racket in for, I left it in the car for another day and then took another reading, and it stayed at 42. However, the black label racket that's in my air-conditioned pro shop, it actually went up to 46. So I'm not sure how that happened, but Rayden did ask an interesting question. What if you left your racket in your car when the weather is really cold? And well, that could be a future video, but I have to wait till the temperature reaches 30 or 40 degrees in Hawaii. So we'll see.